It's a busy day today, but I have food that I need to prep. So the very first thing that I'm gonna start with, and I just wanna get going because this is gonna just make me feel like I am ticking things off my list, and it is this. A whole chicken. So in this video here, I made this very same chicken and I'm gonna do the same thing again. So chicken, in you go. So excited for you. I love air fried chicken. I think it's so delicious. Also, I cook like at least one chicken a week, sometimes two. And then the extra stuff I will freeze because food prep, you know what I mean? I love having stuff ready to go. This is what it looks like, and it just took the drippings out of the container and poured it right on top. So this is gonna cook at 370 degrees for 30 minutes. Then I'm going to flip it over so it's breast side up, and it'll cook for another like 10 minutes, and then it's gonna hang out for like 15 to 20 minutes so all the juices and stuff can settle before we cut into it. So let's get this guy cooking. So the next thing I'm gonna work on is our beef bourguignon or beef burgundy. I have definitely made this before on the channel. I will link to the latest one I made, which I think was last year. I don't know, but this is delicious. And seriously, the perfect fall recipe, if I do say so myself. So I need to cut up my beef. I have some chuck roast, but before I do that, I'm going to cut up my onion and my carrots. So this, I'm not gonna walk you through every single step because I don't even know if you wanna hear every single step, but I have it all in this video. So I'm just going to finely cut up my onion. These guys I just cut like this. You'll see what I mean. I cut them thin as I can without like sitting here and taking too much time because ain't nobody got time. Don't cut your fingers. Don't cut your fingers. Okay. So I'm going to put all these guys in our little bowl here. All right, success. We did not cut our fingers. So the next thing I'm gonna do is cut up my carrots. Now, the recipe calls for like 1 carrot, but my carrots were about to go off. So I figured, why not take this opportunity and just use all the carrots? So this is what my carrot's looking like right now. I'm gonna cut these on the bias, which means at a diagonal. And you know, if you know, you know. A regular cut, like a straight cut, not tasty. A cut on the bias at a diagonal, delicious. I'm kidding, of course. But I just find like this cut really leads to like, I don't know, it's like more flavor getting in I don't know. It could all be psychological, who knows? But I do know that it is delicious. It goes perfect with this recipe. And you know, we just live a good life. So this is what I mean, like a little diagonal cut. I hope you can see that. So good, so good. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside. And actually before I get into my beef, I'm going to chop 1 more onion or half of an onion for another recipe. And now that like, you know, I don't wanna use another cutting board and dirty extra things. So I'm just gonna use this bad gal while she's clean. So we're gonna go with half of an onion. Okay, so my little half onion is ready to go for my beans. And I don't need more than that because I'm not making a heap of beans. I have a 1 pound bag of the small red beans. And last night I put those in some water to soak, like I rinsed them and then put some purified water in there, left it overnight. And this morning I was like, I really should have just done the entire 1 pound bag instead of half of the bag because that was not a lot of beans once they like hydrated and you know, whatever, but here we are. So I'm gonna make the half pound, but that's for later. I'm gonna set this aside and we're gonna get down to our beef because we have cooking to do. So all I'm gonna do with these chuck roasts is I'm going to, this is for recycling. I'm going to trim as much fat as I can. So I'm using about 4 pounds of chuck roast here. And That's gonna work just fine. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna cut these guys into like 1.5, 2-inch pieces, and that will help everything cook nicely. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna cut off as much of this stuff as I can and go as quickly as I can, because we got to get cooking. Got this little guy off, and this works the best when you have a very sharp knife. So I sharpened my knife before I got going. So this is like about the size that you would be looking for. Hopefully you can see that. That's what we're working with. And it definitely does not have to be perfect. Some fat left on there is totally fine, but too much fat and you're gonna notice. Okay, so to our beef, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil and then some salt and pepper. So I really just am gonna go little drizzle. Gonna go in with some salt. And then some pepper. All right, I'm going to give everything a little toss, and then we are moving on. I am so excited, I can't even tell you. So the next thing I want to make is our beans. So these are our red beans, and this is 1/2 pound, which I rinsed and soaked overnight, and then I just drained and rinsed them just now. So I'm gonna grab our Instant Pot, and we are going to get these guys going. BRB. I am going to set this on saute, We're gonna get that going. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in here, and I am going to saute the half of an onion. Tiny little bit of oil. That's maybe a teaspoon, maybe. So to this, I'm going to add, I have our spoon from our beef bourguignon. To this, I'm gonna add our half an onion. And as soon as the oil heats up, it's gonna start to saute that little bit of onion. And once the onion is cooked down, then I'm gonna add some garlic. So come on. Off of there. So one of the things I love to use when I make beans at home is sofrito. And I made sofrito, I believe I have a video. If I do, I'm gonna link it right here for you. It is basically just like herbs and peppers, veggies, like different kinds of veggies, like all blended up. You can like finely chop it, but it's so fantastic to add to beans, to rice. You can use it to season your meat. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. The last time I made it, made enough that I could freeze a bunch. So I love to get these ice cube trays from Amazon, and I will do like minced garlic, I'll do minced onion, I'll do all kinds of stuff. But fortunately for me, I was a little nervous I didn't have any sofrito, but fortunately I had plenty. I threw them in here, or threw it in here, and this is what we're working with. So there's a little bit of, frost on the top, but we're good, we're good. But this, oh, it smells so good. Get in there, get nice and brown, guys. Play together. Calm down, girl. I'm gonna grab my garlic press, do this, second clove, scrape that off. And I'm just gonna give this a few seconds. The Instant Pot is hot and I do not want the garlic to burn. So I'm gonna bring the heat down with some sofrito cubes. So I'm going for 2 cubes. This is what they look like. Hello, get off of me. This is what it looks like. Hopefully you can see that. There it is right there. Can you see that? Oh, here you go. There we go. So that's what it looks like. Oh, come on and focus. It doesn't matter. Anyway, time's a wasting. I'm gonna do 2 of those cubes, which is plenty of flavor for this half a pound of beans. So now I'm gonna throw my beans in. And to this, I'm going to add some chicken bone broth. So I'm gonna break out 2 of these guys. These are the Kettle and Fire. They are 16.9 ounces each. Organic, very clean ingredients. There's nothing in there that says like natural flavors, because natural flavors just make me a little bit nervous. So I'm gonna put enough bone broth in there to cover all the beans. So throw this in. Oh, looks so good. So I'm gonna do part of this container as well. I really just wanna make sure the beans are nice and covered. And what I'm looking for in the end is for the liquid in the beans to be nice and thick, and for there to be plenty of it to coat the beans, and it's just such a vibe, such a vibe. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use the whole thing because I think we can afford to do that. I am going to throw in some salt because we need some flavor. So the next thing I'm gonna do is make some sweet potatoes, and these are the white sweet potato. We love these so, so much. So I am just going to throw these guys in the sink, give them a quick wash. But these guys, like, look how big these guys are. They are massive. So what I like to do when I'm making something like beef bourguignon is seize the opportunity to use the oven at the same time to make my sweet potatoes. So they're going to slow roast. Normally when you're roasting a potato or a sweet potato in the oven, you have it at like 425, 450, and you know, cook it that way. But I love, 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 love to cook these guys slower in the oven. The way they caramelize, like the sugars caramelize, it is something else. It is next level. So I am going to hope and pray that this fits in the oven because, yeah. So I'm gonna do this and get these guys in the oven. Let's see, pray for me, pray for me. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. We fit. We're all right, we fit. So the next thing I wanna do is get my chicken prepped for later in the week, even for the freezer. So I'm gonna take this guy, I'm going to cut him in half, and I'm gonna put each half in a container. So one container will go in the fridge, one container will go in the freezer. And this is a perfect way for me to make sure that we have some chicken ready to go. So I'm just cutting down the breastbone, which you can't see, I don't think, from your angle, but just trust me, that's what I'm doing. So I will do this, like I will take the thigh and drumstick, put it in, and then I'll take the breast and put it in like so. Makes me so happy. I'll do this, and then there's always, like, you know, the little cooking liquid and stuff that's in there. So I like to take that and just kind of drizzle it over. So we have a little bit of that when this gets reheated. It also just adds a little more flavor and just all the things, you know? All the things. So we are ready. So I'm gonna cover these guys up, and then I'm going to preheat my air fryer because I am going to make some fish in there. I'm gonna make some cod for my husband. He loves cod. He eats cod like literally every day. That is not an exaggeration. It is every day. So these guys still have a little bit of warmth to them. I'm gonna set them aside and let them cool all the way before I put them away. So we just get frozen cod from Whole Foods, and I thaw it out. I give it a little cleanup, and then I season it. So I am using the fish taco seasoning packets from, I think it's Simply Organic, and I add a little water, add a little olive oil, and off we go. So I'm just gonna split this between these two containers of fish, and then I just give these little fillets a massage. So I rub this seasoning all over them. Our fish is all seasoned up, so as soon as the air fryer is done preheating, I'm gonna start throwing these guys in, and I'm gonna cook them at 400 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. And once they're done, I'm going to let them cool, and then half of this will go in the freezer and half will go in the fridge. So more coming up. Okay, so our air fryer is nice preheated. So I'm gonna start putting these fillets in here and get these little babies cooking. Oh, listen to that sizzle. That's what we're looking for. That is what we're looking for. So I'm gonna put these guys in, let them cook for 10 to 12 minutes, and then just keep going until all of our cod fillets are cooked. In the meantime, let's check our beans because I do think these guys have gone through their manual release, and not their manual, their natural release of the steam, and they have. So let's pop the top. Ooh. I know it's very steamy and you can't see yet, but patience, patience. So I'm gonna grab our little spoon, give this a stir. So as you can see, this is really liquidy, and ooh, our beans, they are uber soft. They are like falling apart a little, but that's okay, that is okay. So I'm gonna go here And I'm going to go to saute. And I just want to get this bubbling again so that it will reduce the liquid down and thicken it up. So let's talk beans, because these guys have been boiling for, I would say, like 3 minutes or so. And already, hopefully you can see this liquid has gotten thicker. I am loving it. So the amount of time you let it boil really depends on how thick you want this to be. And again, you don't have to go through this process like I am. You can create the slurry and let the slurry thicken it up for you, but I didn't want to add anything else. I know that this boiling process, it takes a little extra time, but it does work beautifully. So here we are. I'm gonna let this go for a few more minutes and then our beans will be good to go. So the first round of our fish is done. That's what they are looking like. So delicious. So I'm just gonna take these guys out, put them in this container, and they will just hang out here and cool. And I will keep putting fish in here until it's full and let it cool, and then it's ready for the fridge. So transfer. I just took our beef out of the oven, so let's take a look. Oh my God, that smells amazing. Oh my God. Whoops. Our carrots are super tender. Look at that. Our beef, also nice and tender. Look how easy that broke apart. Oh my God, seriously. And look how nice and thick this got. My mouth is seriously watering. Because I was so busy doing all kinds of things today, I did not stop and have lunch. I just realized that. So I am hungry. I'm just trying to fish these little guys out. But seriously, just let me throw these away before I keep going. Look at how amazing this looks. This sauce is so thick. It's so rich. Look at, oh my God. Look at how good that is. Look at how good that is. I'm sorry, you're fogging up. You're fogging up. Oh my God. This is heaven. So to finish off our beef bourguignon, I am going to saute some mushrooms. So I have 2 of these 8 ounce containers, and I'm just going to saute them in a little bit of vegan butter. This is my favorite brand right here. Hopefully you can see that. And then once these are done, I'm going to add them to the beef, stir them in nice and gently. Really, it's a fold. It's a fold, but this, Okay, so our mushrooms are done. So I know this is a weird angle. So I'm gonna take the mushrooms, put them in here, and just like gently stir them, because we don't want to disturb anyone. We don't want to anger anybody. So I didn't add salt or anything to the mushrooms. I left them as is because this beef has so much flavor. This is what we're working with right here. So all I'm gonna do is gently just fold the mushrooms in. I don't want to break the beef up too much, but it is so tender. Like, I don't know if you can see, just me doing this is like breaking the beef up. So I'm just trying to be really careful. But this is so hearty. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, my excitement. 10 out of 10. So that is our food prep day. It was just some like key pieces we go through heaps and heaps of sweet potatoes, so I really needed to get that done. We go through heaps of cod every single week, so I'm so happy to have that done. And then I, in particular, go through a lot of chicken. So I always love to have an air fried chicken, some in the fridge, some in the freezer. And that's the beauty of this is I feel like one of the greatest things you can do is if you're gonna cook, just cook a little extra so you have leftovers. And even if you're not gonna eat it the next day, throw it in the freezer so you have a meal for another time. Maybe you're not feeling the best, you're tired, whatever it is, or you're just like craving that meal again, you have it in the freezer and all you have to do is thaw it and heat it up and you're good to go. But I'm so happy. These days, they do take a bit of time in the kitchen, especially when I'm filming because I'm moving the camera around and, doing things. But I am always so grateful when all is said and done because I have food just ready to go in the fridge, in the freezer. When we're running low on things in the fridge, we can pull right out of the freezer and we're good. So that is our food prep video. I really hope that you enjoyed hanging with me as much as I enjoyed hanging with you. If you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you did, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, you subscribe, and you click that notification bell because all of that really supports my channel and it means the world to me. I will see you next time. Mwah.